Took your advice. I sold my house. I moved it back in with mom and dad.
I love you so much you can't imagine. That really takes a lot of strength, but it's really smart if you play it right next. If you do the next thing right, you'll be happy forever.
That's my question.
Okay. I would go with red. Put it all in red.
They asked to move in with you.
I'm gonna have 60K in my pocket.
Yeah.
All said and done. Do I dump that all on Facebook and Instagram, or is there something?
In
else?
ads, you mean, or stock? I guess ads, because you said Instagram.
Sorry, I'm a realtor.
How's business? Why? Why?
The market's good.
Okay. And where are you getting your business from? How many years in are you?
3.
And what market is it?
Bellingham, Washington.
So, look, my advice, everybody's gonna have a unique situation like this. Here's what I would say. There's nothing, is real estate what you think at this, you're a young dude, do you have a self-awareness enough feeling that this is what you wanna do, or you did it because the money looked good in the short term?
Not 100%.
Cool, so that's a good starting point because it will factor into my advice. But it's interesting, much what's going on with him and whiskey and much what I was just telling my sister outside, I can't tell you guys enough how much I want, if you're willing to, build your personal brand because you own it in perpetuity. Right? So if you build local celebrity, you could switch to selling ice cream, right? So the answer is yes, I think you should. But the problem is, you may be bad at spending it. He's a success story at 9 to 90,000. I don't know what he did. You may spend, but what's great about Facebook, it's not like buying television or buying a piece of property. You can rev it up. So spend $50 a day, 80. You don't have to, people get cash in their pocket and they burn. My dad lent me $1,000 when I started my baseball card business when I was 13 years old. You know what I did? I went to Costco, and because they didn't have the cards I wanted, the money was burning a hole in my pocket, and I spent it all on secondary shit I didn't believe in, but it was burning a hole in my pocket. And I had to work harder to pay him back. I paid him back real fast in the scheme of things, but I would have paid him back fucking day one if Costco wasn't sold out of what I knew I was going there to buy, but I didn't have the discipline at 13 to not buy something because I never had that kind of money before and I needed to spend it. That's what I'm saying to you. If you have the discipline to spend it strategically, you'll be very okay. Everybody goes for short-term sales, so you pay high commissions for those referrals, but then they get all the data, and it's over. It's over. It's 100% over. Now the only thing left is your personal brand. But you can't build it when you're under Caldwell, or Remax, or Weiger. So how does that play out? That's called channel conflict. Kraft and Pepsi and Coke are dead too, because they have a problem called Walmart and Costco. If they want to go direct, Walmart and Costco have something to say about that. There's always channel conflict during disruption. So what do I think? I think 1 or 2 of them are gonna win.
On the mortgage side too?
100%.
Yeah.
The internet is gonna squeeze every. Do you know how many limo drivers never thought the internet was a problem? All of them. Right? Bookstore people went first, because that's what Jeff went after first. Got it? What you need to be conscious of is why everybody's vulnerable, and also recognizing it may never happen in your entire career. Like, it just may never, it's a timing game. But to not act as if when it's already happened is a mistake. It's already happened in your industry. These things already exist. Got it? In my world, a lot of brands are taking all their services in-house. That's why I have a product now called Volume Model Internal. We're selling to clients the following pitch. Hey, K-Swiss, this is not true, but I'm just saw K-Swiss. Hey, K-Swiss, hire Vaynermedia. In the first year, our fees are $4 million. In the next, sign a 3-year deal instead of a 1-year deal. $4 million in year 1, $2 million in year 2, $1 million in year 3. Why? Because over those 3 years, I'm gonna give you my employees and now they work at K-Swiss. You have to react to the reality of the marketplace. We don't know when, but when you see it, you can't put your fucking head in the sand. You see it. Zillow's calling them direct. What else do you want to know? You think they're just testing it for kicks and giggles? They're gonna stop that program? You have no leverage. Facebook.
Besides Facebook.
More Facebook. I mean it. Look, I know your guys' industry. You have to understand, you didn't squeeze it. Dad, I don't know if you've heard this because I know you don't consume a lot of my content. I always get upset about how much I was able to help grow the business, because in hindsight, it could have been more. If I did more Google and less Star Ledger, we would have grew more. I was right, but I didn't realize how right I was. I was still too young, and everything else worked too, which is why I zoned in on direct mail, right? Like, other things work too, but some things work better, and some things go away. That's what I mean. It's gonna go away. Guys, Facebook's gonna go away. Facebook's gone away from where, it's not as good as it was 2 years ago. Right now, telling you that in the macro, but it's still so fucking good, it's good.
Yeah,
right?
As realtors, how much time do we have left? Not only with Facebook, because you were talking
But in the
about
macro,
yeah.
I think realtors have a long time. When I say it wipes you out, it's gonna play, there's two factors. One, how ambitious, you have to understand, Keller and Remax and Berkshire and Sotheby's are gonna have to respond to this soon. People are unhappy. A brokerage is bringing no value.
Yeah.
Not an internet world where it was completely, this is why, I said it last night, this is why I think Vayner brokerage would be the biggest, because our value prop would be lower commissions, and I'll build your personal brand, which is the only asset that matters.
Do it.
So for me, they're gonna have to respond. These are not small companies. So somebody, and by the way, this is how it's gonna go down. One of the big, I gave you a couple, but you guys know better, but like one of the big 4, 6, 9 that are classics are gonna do something and try to compete with the technology things or change the game, because they're not just gonna, they have too much money to just die. So, and when one of them does it, the other 5 are gonna follow very quickly. So the rules of everything are about to change. So I think there'll be time, but you're gonna get squeezed out of margin. The modern day realtor that's gonna work for a Zillow or a Dot This or Remax's new direct-to-consumer product is gonna be a telemarketer. You're gonna make 13 bucks an hour to show up and hug them out. Because that's what you're worth. And here's what I don't know. If the economy collapses, it's gonna happen faster. You go first. It's real. I threw this, listen, this is a meta macro version of watch what I do, not what I say. Why did I create Agent 2021? For my health? I could have made a conference about anything in the world. And by the way, it's a hodgepodge of 4 different industries. People are like, what's the connection point last year? What the fuck, like travel? I was like, yeah, we're just weird. Maybe not. This is real carnage coming. And I think 10 years from today, I'm very comfortable thinking it looks a lot different. And for a lot of people in here, that's gonna really matter. Everybody's looking for lightning rods. Everybody always asks me a question like that, or what's next, because they wanna be on that next trend. It's a game about being best, not being first. Everyone's addicted to being first. It's a game about being best. You know how long YouTube pre-rolls and Facebook ads had been around by the time he ran his first 9,000 to get 90,000? Forever. Got it?
Yeah.
So like everybody here trying to catch that next thing, how about you do a decent job in the current thing first?
Right.
People trying to get on that VR train and have like 6 followers on Instagram.
And the second question, what, if any, advice do you give that you have a hard time yourself following?
Probably firing fast. I've gotten way better at it, but I'm still not a natural firer. I'm so optimistic. I'm always thinking like, that's what makes me great at what I do, but it makes me vulnerable in firing, right? I just always think I'm gonna come up with some new cockamanian idea that's gonna make it work. I think it's the reason I'm starting all these fucking companies. Just somewhere else to go. For me, I just let things come to me. I've never sought out a relationship in my entire career. I always thought that having the leverage with the end consumer brings me all the opportunity. Results. Right? I think too many people want things from people. I don't want anything from Steve, right? So people are like, oh, if I could just become homies with Gary Vee, he'll put me on. What's a lot better is me being interested in you, because then you have the leverage. Got it? I've never sought out a relationship in my entire career, because I'm not looking for anything from anybody. The leverage is the consumer. I'm not gonna let some other human have leverage. Got it? So I've built a great company. I disproportionately indexed it for the New York Jets, the main executive that benefited. Matt Hagan's profile in the NFL grew because of our work. He wasn't kidding up there. That gave him, why did Steve want Matt? Because the Jets were the best at a thing that Steve was smart enough to understand was important. So then Matt goes there. What happens next? Matt's like, I need Gary in my world. Now I have the leverage to sell a piece. And got it? Leverage. So I pretty much, in the last month, have decided I'm gonna write a new book and I'm gonna call it Volume. And it's gonna be about all this, which is when I hear what you did off of not knowing how to do it, that speaks to me that the whole thing's wide the fuck open. That's ridiculous returns and you have no idea what the fuck you were doing.
Pretty much.
That's right. So you can imagine why I'm excited. That's why I'm yelling so loud. By the way, it's my macro thesis on real estate. The reason real estate's so addictive is when it's going good, an ant can do well. And I don't mean your ant, I mean an actual insect. So that's what's happening with Facebook. But it's more content. Some of you have a thing working and you don't realize that you should be investing back the dollars not into more media, but into 17 different pieces of content that you've never made before. Content is where you need to be tweaking, not just segmentation. It's gonna be,
get in YouTube because it's all going video.
Billie Jean's trying to sell you a product. Why would it go all video? People have shown you for the last 100 years that we read, listen, and watch. Right?
Yeah.
What is podcasting? It's radio. Nothing goes away. Humans stay the same. Timing is what you need to pay attention to. Got it? So no, people will read forever. People will watch videos forever, but there's timing. I think YouTube's an incredible search engine. Yeah, it's great, you know? And I think YouTube pre-roll is incredible. You can run ads against people based on what they're searching on Google. It's intent. It's absurd.
Shit that costs $300 a click, I get for 15 cents a video view with the same keywords.
Right, so then you think about that arbitrage, right? Now he only has to convert one, and you know, 600, you know, it's crazy.